Hey guys, so it's gonna get cold tonight. It's gonna go down into the 30s, which is a lot colder than it's been getting. It's been staying mostly in the 50s at night, which is okay for young seedlings. But I have already planted some early summer crops into the ground in my raised beds just as a test to see how they do, and it's a little bit earlier than recommended. So because it's getting so cold tonight, I'm gonna make sure that I cover them and I do everything I possibly can to ensure that they survive the cold snap. It's probably only going to be a few days and then it'll warm back up, and so if I can do this and keep them warm just for the bit at night where it drops uncomfortably low, then they'll probably make it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my season extension techniques and my tools and everything that I have, and I'm going to double up on some of those. So I've got my homemade cloches out of my 2-gallon water bottles on my cucumbers and my okra, and I've got row cover. So I'm gonna, where I have these cloches, I'm going to use the row cover and I'm gonna cover the cloches so I have a double layer. I have a cloche and then I have a layer of row cover over top of them. Where I don't have cloches, where I have long beds planted, here I've got long beds of baby greens, and they're just real little. They've just germinated and they're coming up. And these are turnips and baby greens and little bits of radish and beet and those kinds of direct seeded plants. And they're cool season crops, so they're going to be okay, but I'm still going to cover them. I'm going to make sure that they're all right and that they're a little bit insulated. Where I have warm season crops, like this bed over here, is beans, and those definitely don't want to get cold tonight, so I've doubled up on my row cover. So there's a double layer, there's 2 layers of row cover, because I can't cloche an entire bed of beans that are planted a couple inches apart. So that's too many plants and too close together, so I can't cloche them like my big plants, like my cucumbers and my okra. So I'm doubling up on my row cover there, and I'm putting cloche and row cover on warm seedlings, and then I'm just putting a single layer of row cover over my cool season crops that are still quite young. So I'm gonna do this for all of my annual crops, and then there are also a couple of the things that I might try and protect. This includes early budding fruit trees, young fruit trees that have already started to flower out. If it drops much below 35 degrees tonight, it may frost the flower buds, which would inhibit fruit production this year. So if I'm expecting to get fruit on some of my fruit trees, what I'll do is I'll take row cover or some old sheets or whatever, and I'm gonna wrap those trees so that those buds don't get frozen. And just like I said, you could use old sheets on the trees. If you don't have row cover and you're desperate for something tonight to cover your garden because you planted warm season crops like tomatoes already, or cucumbers or squashes or beans, and you don't know what to do and you don't want them to die, you can use just about anything. You can use some scrap plastic, an old sheet, a tarp, anything that will lay over the top of these small seedlings and just insulate them. And then if you're using something heavy or dark, make sure that you're propping them up, putting something in the bed so that they don't smush your plants, and then make sure that in the morning, once it warms up again, that you take those covers off immediately. Otherwise, it can really hurt those plants. So yeah, if you don't have row cover or cloches or plastic bottles, use what you have on hand and try and protect those little seedlings from the frost tonight. So good luck, and go wrap your babies.